In one of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, a mother cures her son's cold with elderberry tea. In the child's eyes, the plant's tiny white flowers turn into a fairy. The old sorceress shows him how he will become a sailor in the future. The vision seemed like just a dream, but after waking up, the boy began to recover. And this is not just a twist in the fairy tale plot. Elderberry decoction has been considered an effective healing remedy since ancient times. Regarding its biologically active properties, elderberry is quite unique. Firstly, it contains cyanogenic glycosides, but it also has vitamin C, which can be used for medical purposes, such as a diaphoretic. The healing properties of elderberry were known even in ancient Egypt. It was a popular folk remedy against colds. The miraculous plant was mentioned by ancient scholars Pliny the Elder and Hippocrates. The latter called elderberry a natural pharmacy. Of course, at that time, no one suspected its high vitamin C content. But ancient healers were repeatedly convinced that elderberry strengthens the immune system and helps with sore throats and respiratory inflammation. However, there is another side to the coin. This plant can be deadly. If we talk about whether it's safe to consume unripe berries, that's where cyanogenic glycosides come in, which can cause vomiting, poisoning, and other toxic infections. To avoid accidental poisoning, elderberry berries were dried or boiled for a long time, along with the leaves. The plant was also attributed with magical properties, both healing and destructive. It was forbidden to sleep under an elderberry bush because that sleep could be your last or too prolonged. Also, there were many beliefs about elderberry helping a sick child. It was thought that placing a child under an elderberry bush and letting them breathe in the aroma of the leaves would cure them. This is a case where folk medicine, so to speak, is closely intertwined with mythology. Ancient Russian warriors, on the other hand, always carried a pouch with another plant. On the battlefield, they used ground Elecampane root. It was believed that sprinkling the wound with the healing powder would magically heal it overnight. In reality, there is some truth to this belief. Elecampane does contain many beneficial substances. Its root contains a well-known substance called inulin, which is used for medical purposes and helps eliminate toxins and waste from the body. It also contains many flavonoids, which are present throughout the plant. In ancient times, Elecampane was used as a panacea. It was used to treat wounds, migraines, convulsions, various lung, stomach, and skin diseases, and even epilepsy. Most surprisingly, people believed that the powder from the root of this miracle plant also helped in the matters of the heart. Girls used it for divination and, well, love spells. This love spell ritual was performed using elecampane. It was dried, ground, and mixed with frankincense. This mixture was then sewn into the beloved's shirt or placed nearby. Having it nearby was believed to make the man pay attention to you. These magical rituals, related to enchanting a man, were usually performed on Ivan Kupala Day. Mandrake, on the other hand, was very difficult to obtain. According to medieval legend, when pulled from the ground, the plant emits such a piercing scream that a person would either drop dead or lose their mind. Therefore, people went to fetch the magical root with a dog. A rope was tied to the dog under the plant's rosette, which resembles a cabbage growing in that form. The rope was tied to the rosette and the dog, and a piece of meat was placed a little further away. Naturally, the dog would lunge for the meat, and the root would be extracted. People believed in the plant's special magical properties, so it was considered a bad omen to retrieve it oneself. This legend has become part of modern popular culture. It is often referenced in books, films, and video games. Nevertheless, it's best not to touch mandrake. It is a poisonous plant. The highest concentration of toxic substances is found in the root. They cause convulsions, memory loss, damage to internal organs, and in severe cases of poisoning, death. But the most dangerous plant in ancient times was considered to be this four-leaved herb with a single bluish berry. It can easily be mistaken for blueberries or bilberries, which would be a fatal error. The fruit of this plant resembles a crow's eye, hence its name. If you consume this berry, unfortunately, it causes a severe toxic infection, leading to vomiting and nausea in the best cases. And in the worst cases, typically, sadly, it results in cardiac arrest. The Slavs believed that the bitter, poisonous berries were the tears of a crow. According to legend, a healer once saved an injured chick that had fallen from its nest in the forest. The hermit nursed the bird back to health. When he died, the crow, left alone, grieved, and its tears fell to the ground, turning into berries. Since then, according to tradition, anyone who tastes them will experience the same suffering as the faithful bird that lost its best friend. However, in Russia, crow's eye was also used in folk medicine. Healers knew the secret of preparing a safe remedy from this poisonous plant. Additionally, dried crow's eye berries have sedative properties, so they were often used to treat neurological disorders like nervous tics or seizures. This is due to their sedative effect, which suppresses the central nervous system. Scientists say that some ancient beliefs about magical plants are based on very real and proven properties of plants like crow's eye, elderberry, and elecampane. Our ancestors simply attributed greater healing power to them than they actually possess. After all, there were no real medicines back then. Whether plants helped in the fight against serious ailments is unknown. However, experts believe that in some cases, the placebo effect might have played a role.